Good evening. Hope you all have joined. So it's the foundation lecture number 2. Okay, so we have done one lecture in which we understood what all is required to score 300 plus in psychology in shorter duration. Because see, the maxim on which I work as far as psychology is concerned, and in fact your preparation of civil services as a whole, is this. Just pay attention. Fastest bullets move the smoothest. What does it mean? See, have you ever driven a car or driven your two-wheeler? Have you seen a scenario when a person, although I don't suggest you to not to follow the traffic rules and drive in a casual manner or fast, but if you look at it, if you look at life also very carefully, closely, you'll realize that when you have the speed, optimum speed required, you'll have lesser stress, lesser frictions, and you will be able to move very quickly towards your goal. If you look at UPSC preparation in general, there also this maxim works. The fastest bullets move the smoothest. You will have lesser friction, lesser hurdles, lesser stress, lesser distractors if you are moving towards your goal in a quicker manner. Because in that way you are actually able to give no space to the distractors. You are focused towards your aim. The same thing works for psychology as well. We believe on this maxim. What is the maxim here? Foundation lecture 2. To complete psychology course in a shorter duration. This course is of 45 days. In that we'll cover the whole syllabus according to our design of C. Concept, A. Application, M. Merit, D. Demerit. Fine, clear? But before going deep into this, we'll do what? We'll understand the strategy. Large part of the strategy has been covered in the first lecture. As I gave you the Troika 1000 concept, that psychology should not be separate from essay and ethics, and your understanding of general studies will be used in paper 2. The interlinkages between paper 1 concepts and interlinkage between paper 1 and paper 2, that we'll do some of them today. And how to ensure that we get the language of psychology, because of which people suffer in the marks. The language is not of the level of psychology, the optimum language which is required, which we are looking for. You don't have that conceptual understanding. You are lost in the plethora of content. When it is discontinued, your psychology classes are discontinued for maybe 1 or 2 months, you are lost what to do, because I have forgotten everything. What to do so that the imprints of psychology remain with you for a larger period of time, you are able to score well. So let's delve deep into this. So firstly, what we have to do, let's see, I'm repeating few things, but they are important for you to understand. First and foremost, take the print of what? Your psychology syllabus, which is easily available on the internet, right? On your iPad, you can just save it as a document, keep it handy. You're moving somewhere, your tab or iPad, whatever you are having, Android or iOS, whichever way you feel comfortable, you just carry it with yourself. Or a paper is a better idea. Psychology syllabus, which one? Paper 1 and 2, both should be with you. Paper 1 and paper 2, both should be with you. Why? Because you have to memorize this. When I say memorize this, don't do the rectification thing. Don't just go and memorize this. What you have to do, just look at this, look at the various topics, keep looking at it, keep referring to it, and as we cover our syllabus, you will realize that what is the importance of having that in your mind. Okay, fine. So after that, what you have to do, the PYQs, I think most of you have been provided the PYQ, the 20 years PYQ. If it is not with you, I'll give you, just let me know. You all have my WhatsApp number, so you can just send me a message. I'll ensure that it is given to you. Okay, these two things will be a fodder of your success, 300 marks. Keep referring to the syllabus and ensure that wherever you can see the application of paper 1 topics into paper 2 topics. Why? The PYQs which are there, they will give you the length. Firstly is what all there is in the syllabus, the topics. You will get to know about the topics through the syllabus. How much to study in that topic will be given by the PYQ. What to study for UPSC is given by the topics mentioned in the syllabus. How much to study in each topic, like there is a intelligence topic of your measurement of intelligence. If you ask me, can there be a complete 1 year course for this measurement of intelligence? Yes, it can be. It is possible. It can be taught for a full year. But should you study for a full year? The answer is no. How much to be studied in this measurement of intelligence will be given by what? PYQs. The extent, you will get to know the extent. We'll cover it in that manner only. In our classes, we'll cover it in that manner only, because we are here to score well in the optional in UPSC examination, nothing else. So PYQs will give you the extent, that what is the meaning of intelligence testing, the history, types of scales, meaning, history, types of scales, and then comes your demerits. Examples, like Stanford Binet SBIT 5, Simon Binet intelligence test, WAIS Wechsler adult intelligence scale. These all will be there. How they are different from the idea of Galton. Who gave? Reaction time, word association, these kind of tests. how they are different. These, because Galton was focusing on nature and these people were focusing on nurture. So that is the main idea, the main theme of psychology. Okay, that we'll see in our initial classes. What are the basic foundations of psychology? So you have been given this scope. Firstly, what to study, how much to study. Then what you have to do from these PYQs only, the significant PYQs. I will also provide you the solution to this. Significant PYQs are those PYQs which keep on getting repeated. Maybe the questions will be different, but the topic will remain same. If they are asking about the construct an intelligence test or construct an aptitude test, so you should have a ready-made answer for that. That answer should be ready-made. Standard answer I will provide. Fine. The basic content of this should be on your fingertip. Once you write these answers and then match with the model answer, you will have this registered in your mind. Done? This you have to do. So you have the fodder ready. This way you will have the fodder ready for 4 questions out of the 5 you are supposed to do in your main examination. Fodder is ready. What I suggest further is, as I told you, when you write an answer, concept, this is your context in which the question is given. Then you have your content. Then you give your examples, and I have told you to give examples from real life. As many examples from real life, better the marks. We are focusing on marks. That's it. As simple as that. Then comes your S. What is that? Schema. What is schema? Schematics. What is schematic? Schematics is your diagram, flow chart. These diagrams and flow charts also you have to keep ready, handy, because unless you keep these things handy, it is very difficult on the 3 hours. In those 3 hours, it will be very difficult for you to frame the answer, new answers for so many questions. So what you should keep ready? The points. So many points are ready, handy with you. You have the diagram ready, the flow chart ready. Keep the case study ready also. What is the case study? For applied part of psychology, many things you will encounter in your newspaper, many things you will encounter in your GS. So that you can use in the paper too. So you have to keep these things handy, ready with you. Fine, as simple as that. Now let's simplify the overall process. How to go about it? First thing, I'll tell you what to do. Now, most of you who are watching this video, they are preparing for 2025 or maybe 26. So, what you have to do? First is your NCERT. Now, how to read NCERT is very important. NCERT 11th and 12th of psychology. You can get it as a PDF format, easily available on the net or the book, whatever way you feel comfortable. Now, what to focus on right now? Don't focus on the facts. Just try to understand and apply. Where? In your surroundings. Apply it. You study it like a novel. And let me tell you one thing. If you are not in a habit of reading things, you will not clear UPSC. Because for clearing UPSC, it is important that you are in a habit of reading first. Secondly, you are reading with lots of concentration. You are able to comprehend the paragraph. Otherwise, the CSAT itself will be a hurdle for you. The problem with the civil services examination, why people clear in 5th, 6th attempt, is that they don't have that basic building blocks ready with them. What is the basic building block? The general understanding. If your schooling is not good, then you will not be able to comprehend the paragraph. So you train yourself in case that is not the priority for you. In case you have lost track for the study, then please bring yourself back into the studies. So comprehension you must have. So comprehension of these paragraphs given in NCERT 11th and 12th. Why it is being done? Just to generate interest in you. Don't try to remember things. right now. There is no need of. There is no need of. Secondly, as I told you, either Baron or Cicerelli. Now this book may be with you. Again, what to do? Again, I am telling you, just read it like a novel. Just try to enjoy the story. Always remember that the story will be important. Your points will be covered in the notes. Don't worry about that. I will also cover so many things. Why I am telling you to study at the first hand, I will also give you the matter. But why you should study it as a first hand reader? Because this will ensure that you have the language of the discipline. Language. How will you develop the language of the discipline? When you write your answer and your answer is checked by a PhD, a person who is PhD in social psychology or cognitive psychology, a person who has visited abroad and studied in Harvard maybe will be evaluating your answer. So how will they be impressed by using the common language which you use in your common parlance? So please beware about this. You have to use a language which is conversant with the examination. That's very, very important. Okay, now after that what? After that, many of you already have notes, because I see that most of you are having as a first hand source some notes which is circulating in the market. The unfortunate fact about these notes are that they are static notes, but still I also believe that they are elaborative in nature. They are deep in nature. So what you should do, take hold of these notes. If you have done the classes also, that's also fine. My notes are different. They are precise, concise, and if you consume that, you will be able to score well. But in case you are having this market material, don't worry about that. What you have to do, then again, you have to categorize the concept. Understand the concept. That's it. How it can be applied. See it. How it can be applied. And your application should be very creative sort of. You should not be fixated about this can be applied here only. Then you see the merit of the particular topic and demerit of the particular topic. If you do all these things, you are ready for your launch of 300 plus marks. How we will cover it, I'll tell you. How we have how many chapters here? Be strategic. That's how. Strategy is something which will keep you separate, which will keep you ahead of so many people. And this examination is about understanding that it's a simple examination. The more complex you make it, it will be difficult for you. Make it simple, simplify the process. See, when the problem is tough, when the problem is complex, as the syllabus is, when the competition is high, you have to simplify the process. How? What will you do? Firstly, there are 14 chapters in paper 1 that you must know. Then there are 14 chapters in paper 2. Fine. The way things are studied is paper 1 is focused upon by most of the, unfortunately psychology does not even have most of the teachers. Paper 1 is focused upon by a few teachers, whosoever they are. That is their strategy. There is nothing to criticize on all. But the problem is that paper 1 consumes your large part of classes. Then paper 2 remains neglected. Apart from that, the portion, the stats portion also remains neglected. So how will we cover it? We'll divide it into 3 blocks. The block number 1. See, I need your cooperation also to ensure that you do well, and I am here to teach only the sincere aspirants, not those who are fond of stand-up comedy. I am not doing here stand-up comedy. Having a better sense of humor, but still I don't intend to do stand-up comedy. So let's see the block 1. Block 1 will consist of your chapters like introduction chapter, which is there in the paper 1. Then your chapter of methods of psychology. Then your chapter of research methods. These are all the chapters of your paper 1. Right? Then we go to the paper 2, and paper 2 has measurement of individual differences. Measurement of individual differences. We are clubbing all these under block 1. What will happen here? We'll understand the origin of psychology, significance of psychology, utility of psychology, and various parts of psychology in the introduction chapter, various perspectives, behaviorist, psychoanalytic, cognitive, humanist, all these perspectives will develop. The recent trends, the current scenario, where psychology stands now, whether psychology is a science or art, where does it lie as far as comparison with natural sciences is concerned, where does it lie, its evolution from the philosophical epistemology to scientific discipline, that will cover under this introduction. Since it's a scientific discipline or closer to natural sciences, the methods of psychology will give us a peep inside its working, how it does work. The methods of psychology being different from other disciplines, how they are unique, how they are scientific, that will cover in methods. And research methods gives the quantification idea. Various types of experimental research, non-experimental research, quasi experimental research. That will do. Then measurement of individual differences gives us the idea about the scales, because psychology is the scientific discipline to understand the individual differences, to understand the similarities and differences of the individuals, to categorize them as similar or different. It's the basic idea, the basic themes according to which psychology works. This will be covered here. We'll be clubbing all these 4 chapters in one block. After covering this block, there will be a test. And mind it, my tests are different. I don't give you the test depending upon my own notes. I give you the test which will test you, which will actually force you to think that whether you have got the idea of concept really after studying 6.5 months or 13 months or maybe 2 years of psychology or doing the graduation. Most of my students who actually liked my classes are from graduation of psychology, masters of psychology. Why? Because they have understood psychology in a better manner. If you have a background of psychology, fine. If you don't have, okay. But I suggest that you should choose the optional where you have the background. That helps you actually. So this is the block 1. What about the block 2? Let's move to block 2. Block 2 will not be paper 1 alone as done by most of the people. It should be connected. Let's see the beauty of the block 2. In block 2, what all is there? From the paper 1, the chapters are your development psychology, then your motivation and emotion, then your personality, then your attitude, value, interest. Mind it, it's not based on cognitive, social and all, because that differentiation is done at our level for us as a teacher. Like most of the teachers focus on cognitive psychology, they leave the social psychology, they leave applied psychology, they leave stats. So my idea is there to converge everything so that you get a benefit. If I have to teach single part, social psychology or cognitive psychology, that I can do very easily, but you won't get marks. So application of strategy, application of scientific temper is in this. These are the chapters. These are from paper 1. What about paper 2? In paper 2, what all will be connected with these chapters will be your, note it, community psychology. Community psychology. Then comes your rehabilitation psychology. All will be done together. It's not that we have to do it separately. Then your disorders. Then comes your therapy. Then comes your disadvantage psychology. Then comes your social integration. These are the chapters from paper 2 connected with this paper 1, these two topics. Here, development psychology, motivation, emotion, personality, attitude, value, interest, connected with the community psychology, rehabilitation psychology, disorders, therapy, disadvantage, social integration. Now, you may say we are not aware about all these things. Go and read the syllabus. You have to be tough with yourself. That's very important. And if you keep on building the blocks and reading each and every chapter of paper 1, and in 6 months, 6 months do the coaching. After that 6 months remain lost. Then again next 6 months prepare the paper 1. Paper 2 still not covered. That will not fetch you marks. So believe me, you have to be smart. Do all these things. We will be connecting it, and you will see the beauty of how connections works. Block 2 is done. Block 1, block 2. Let's see the block 3. We are dividing the whole gamut of psychology in 3 blocks only. So the third block will be having what is the third block here? Third block, learning, memory from paper 1. Then your sensation, attention, perception, SAP, sensation, attention and perception. Then comes your thinking and problem solving. Then comes your intelligence chapter. Then language. And communication. All these chapters, how many are there? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chapters here from paper 1. And remember, these things are very important. This is not taught, not even discussed. From paper 2, which chapters we are taking here? We are taking chapters of education psychology, which will be converging in the block 3 with connecting with these two. Then we have our IT mass media. Then psychology and economic development. Then comes your environment psychology. Then comes your gender psychology. Then there is military and others. Sports psychology is there along with the military. All these things will be clubbed in the block 3. After these 3 blocks, we have few things remaining. That is given in the issues and perspectives. In your syllabus, see, I talk from the perspective of syllabus only. Issues and perspectives in modern psychology, modern arena. So I will cover all these things, whether it is about paper 1 or paper 2, under recent trends. Three blocks after these recent trends. After that, one more thing which is left is your measurements. So total 5 different dimensions, everything is covered. Complete psychology covered. This is how we'll move. Now, what you have to do is, you have to first and foremost get hold of this, as I told you, your syllabus, your PYQs, see which one is getting repeated in which chapter. Divide these in different blocks, as I told you. Divide your whole syllabus in different blocks. What all I'll be giving you apart from these things is, a compilation of all the important case studies and terminologies. Case studies and terms. And I told you that significant PYQs which are getting repeated, their answers also I will provide. I will be teaching you how to apply psychology in your real life. I will also be telling you how to apply your current affairs knowledge in psychology, and I will also give you a current affairs compilation which will be relevant for psychology. Okay, this will be the holistic coverage, and as I told you, there are tests, there are different tests, right? For block 1 there is a test, of course, which will test your conceptual understanding, the applied and all these things. Then your block 2 again will have a test which will force you to think in an applied manner, not only from the perspective of developmental psychology and social psychology in the paper 1, but how it is applied in paper 2. That also will be there, the application, so that you have a convergence. Block 2, again the test will be tough, of course, it has to be. Block 3, again the cognitive psychology, largely cognitive, and its application in the second part. So after going through these 3 blocks of test, again for the block 4 and 5 and measurements, all these will have one test. So how many tests are there? Largely there are 4 tests, largely. Then there will be full tests also. Paper 1 full test, paper 2 full test. At least 2 paper 1 full test, at least 2 paper 2 full test. So that you have preparation, complete preparation, which I am talking about, by the end of these 45 days. Right now what you have to do? First thing, which is very important, take your NCERTs, read it like a novel, take your syllabus, divide the syllabus into different blocks, write it with your own handwriting, which is very important. See, these are the things which, because of these things, some very average kind of candidates, the aspirants who have understood and who have done that, they become IPS and IAS. I have seen so many people, and there are brilliant students of mine, those who have not even cleared prelims. I just find myself in a pitiable situation sometimes, that why these guys are not there. You people are very, very intelligent, let me tell you. You have to have so much of faith in yourself as much I have in you, and you are leaving this. See, intelligence will be beaten by the hard work. When intelligent will stop working hard, you have to work hard and work smart. I am giving you the way out. Have this syllabus, divide it into blocks, as I told you. Block number 1, 2, 3, 4th part, 5th part. Compilations I am giving you. PYQs I will be giving you. Significant answers I will be giving you. But you have to attempt the questions, alright? Force yourself to think. Divide the syllabus in terms of mnemonics. Prepare your flowchart diagram, everything ready. I have given the tips for essay and ethics paper. So some of the brilliant minds who are giving interview this year, what I realized that they took my suggestion. There are other people who are just in awe, going gaga about a particular institute, particular person. You are not here to do the jaikara of somebody. You are here to clear the examination. So take positive from everyone. I am not suggesting that you should take only positives from me. Take positives from wherever you gather. Leave the negativity, leave the noise. Focus on the signal. And what is the signal here? Your aim. The aim is 300 plus. That can be covered through this. Motivation and strategy. That will solve the purpose. Simplify everything as we have done. Simplification. Strategize your studies, plan it, and then let it be. Okay, so that we are doing. Firstly, let's start from the definition, and you will see that from the definition alone so many things will converge. Before I tell you the definition, can you just think of the definition? Think about the definition. What is the definition? Just giving you a minute. Psychology is the scientific study of what? Human behavior and mental processes. Now there can be n number of definitions. I am not going to give you n number of definitions, neither is it required, but what you have to remember is, rather than memorizing these different definitions, what you should focus on, having a definition which is simple and holistic. What we are going to highlight here is, you see, scientific study, okay, then your human behavior, then is mental processes. Three things only, simplified, clear. So let's move ahead and see how it is helpful for us. Firstly, we are saying scientific study. How it is scientific? How can we categorize the study of psychology as scientific? Then about human behavior. What is human behavior? Something which we can see, like you study the chapter of learning and memory, then you are tested, your test is there, you perform well, your improvement, measurable improvement, that was a relatively permanent change in the behavior. So we are measuring the behavior. Then we are talking about mental processes. Mental processes are covert, hidden. So the Department of Psychology not only studies it from observable, overt behavior, but covert behavior also. Under that the mental process come, largely focusing on what? Cognitions. Here what is the focus? As we'll see, as a perspective, behaviorism. Here the focus is on your cognitive aspects. And then we'll address the scientific part. How we categorize psychology as scientific and where does it lie now? This is the graph. Where does psychology emerge from? Every discipline has emerged from one particular discipline, that is called philosophy. So philosophy largely was rational approach, rationalism. What is rationalism? Based on reasoning. That how philosophers discuss things. Sun rises in east. The philosophers will then break it threadbare. Sun rises in east. Why? How? Have you seen it? Are there evidences? These are their discussions. Then somebody else will come. No, we are actually false. Actually, sun sometimes rises in west. They have to define that also. Sun rises in west or south or north. That discussion will be roaming around this particular sentence. Sun rises in the east. Rationalism, reasoning based. And from there, The disciplines, many other disciplines travel to different directions. Like other disciplines, psychology also got the opportunity to represent itself in a different manner, and that different manner was called positivism. More so, logical positivism. Which says that within the bounds of rationality, psychology is a science. Psychology studies things in an objective manner. What are the four criteria to define anything as scientific? What is O? O is your objectivity. S is your skepticism. A is your accuracy. U is your universalism. Okay. Objectivity. In our temper, in our study, we are objective. How? If we are analyzing the behavior of memory, then we are measuring things objectively. Our observations are objective. We are not tending to do things according to biases. As you can recall, the biases of whom? The researcher and the subject. There are experimental bias, then demand characteristics, which is, what is demand characteristics? According to the subconscious needs of the researcher. Researcher wants you to behave in a certain manner and you start behaving in that manner. Demand characteristics. Then the subjects upon whom the research is being done, they are also showing what? Biases and errors. What is the effort of psychology? Effort of psychology is to reduce these and these, all these. And for that, what they follow, we'll see in the research method also. As many of you are just aware about these terms, I'm using it. We are using single blind and double blind. In the single blind process, the subjects don't know whether they are in the experimental group or control group. Experimental group is the group where the treatment is used, that is where the independent variable is manipulated, utilized. But control group is the group where the experiments are not done, that is the treatment is not used. If the researcher is aware about the categorization of the group, then it is single blind. But if the researcher along with the subjects, both of them are not aware about this, then it is double blind. These processes are used to ensure that there is objectivity in our approach. The biases and errors are reduced, made minimum, or even eliminated. Fine. Then comes your skepticism. Psychology does not say that we are supreme. Psychology does not say that we are unique. Psychology does not say that we are science. Psychology says We are not science. Prove me wrong. That is called skepticism. We are skeptic in our approach. This is called skepticism. All the scientific disciplines use this. Then comes your accuracy. Our measurements are accurate. Because the scales we use, although they are not like the scales used in the natural sciences, the ratio scales, these are relative scales, interval scales, ranking scales. We prepare the ranking or we categorize things under the intervals, but still this is having high degree of accuracy as compared to any other social sciences. Then the theories and fundamentals which we study, the concepts in psychology, are universally applicable under different scenario. If we say Yerkes-Dodson approach, Yerkes-Dodson is applicable to different scenarios. This is your arousal. This is the performance. Largely, for the optimum performance, there has to be optimal arousal. Neither less nor high. Fine. So this theory is applicable largely to different situations. But psychology is also about scientific study of individual differences. So for different people, this graph will be different. That flexibility we have, but at least we have defined how we are scientific. The approach. This is spoken in different terms of ontology, epistemology, and methodology. Ontology is what psychology sets to study. What do we study? We study the human behavior. And if we look at the human behavior, that itself is multidimensional and complex. So if it is multidimensional and complex, can we have accuracy of measurement here? Can we have objective approach here? The answer is no. Largely, relatively, it is objective, but not as objective as natural sciences are. Epistemology, that is validity of our theories. As I told you, the example of Yerkes-Dodson, like your gravity or any theory in chemistry or mathematics, can we apply these theories with the same accuracy, with the same universal appeal as it is there for the natural sciences? The answer is no. So on the grounds of epistemology also, we can say that relatively it is objective, but largely subjective. Relatively objective. Methodology. You see, the scales we use, they are not ratio scales. We cannot say that we have found a person who is 2 times more intelligent than another person. Can we say so? Can we find a scale where we can say that the person is having 0 intelligence or 0 emotional intelligence? The answer is no. So based on these grounds, although this is there, objectivity, skepticism, accuracy, universalism is there, but still relatively we are objective and scientific in the approach. So having done this analysis, apart from this ontology, epistemology, and methodology. Ontology, epistemology, and methodology. We can say that psychology has a space. This is your psychology. These are the natural sciences. These are the philosophical subjects. So psychology finds a place here. But with the advent of the technologies like AI, psycho-cybernetics, with the use of medical sciences and the improvement in our measurements, we can say that psychology is moving faster towards proximity with the natural sciences. It is not folk wisdom for sure. Like people say, by looking at the person's face, we can say this person is aggressive, this person is intelligent. That analysis is quite folk. Psychology does not work on the folk wisdom. This is how psychology is placed on the scientific discipline, but relatively scientific. Let's have a look at your overt and covert aspects. Can we say psychology is only about the behaviors which are observable? No. We have to see the observable plus covert, both the aspects of the behavior, through which we will judge, through which we will finalize our theories and examples and focus on our studies. This is the definition of psychology. You do study your NCERTs, you do study your book Barron and Cicerelli, and then focus on different blocks. We'll see you soon with further